morning once again from the city of São Luís. Today we are actually leaving São Luís and heading to our next destination, which is the city of Belém in the state of Pará. But we're not going directly to Belém. We are here, as you can see, in the terminal to take a ferry and cross the water. I'll explain to you why we have to take a ferry, because in order to go from this side of the water to the other side by ferry boat, it takes around 1 hour. But if you want to go by car, you have to go down like a U shape to get to that point, and that would add 5 hours to our trip by car. So to avoid all of that, most people, including us, they take a ferry boat. Then from that side of the water to Belém, if we wanted to consider the time that the ferry boat takes also, it would be around 10 hours and a half if we wanted to go to Belém directly. And with the stops with our dog, it would easily become 12 hours. So to avoid all of that, we are going to stop in a little city along the way, which is called Maranhão. Maranhão is a little city, and we wanted to actually do this during our trips. We want to really visit as many little towns and villages as possible to really get to know the whole country. So we are going to stay there for a couple of days to rest a bit and to work a little bit. Then we're going to go to Belém. This is the plan, so as soon as we get on the ferry, I'll update you again. So we are actually the first car going to the ferry. And let's see. Apparently there's a lot of people, a lot of cars, so let's see. On the ferry, Mariana, the car, and this troublemaker in his bag. So let's go start the trip. So the tide was actually very low over there, but here where we have the ferry, it's okay. And you can see there's actually another ferry that just arrived. So we're gonna just go here, wait around 1 hour or so. Also, to explain to you how it works, we came actually 2 days ago to buy the ticket for the car. You can buy the ticket for the car in advance by coming to the terminal or buying it online. If you buy online, there is 13 reais extra charge for like administrative fees and things like that. We came here because we wanted to also know where the terminal is located exactly. So we didn't have to pay that extra 13 reais. For the car, it was 130 reais. And then today when we arrived, per passenger also they charged 10 reais per passenger. So we paid for us, for the dog there was no charge, but we paid for us and for the car 150 reais for the ferry, which will take 1 hour to take us to the other side of the water. Inside the ferry you have, of course, all the life jackets, and we still have like 40 minutes before we leave. So as you can see, it's empty. There's a lot of people. In the back you also have like a coffee shop. You can have coffee, you can have all the goodies that you want if you want to eat.
And this guy, I just hope he behaves during the trip.
The drama.
Oh yeah.
So dramatic.
Dramatic. He loves drama. Yeah? Alright. And it's his first time on a ferry boat. So that too, check off the bucket list for Leo.
One thing I just noticed, we were the first car to come in, but I think when we get to the other side we're gonna be the last car to get out. I just realized that, but it's fine, we're not in a rush. The challenge was to get on the ferry. I didn't mention it before, we were worried that they would pick on the bag that we have for our dog and say that it has to be like a hard top bag and not a soft one like this one, but thank God there was no problem with that, so we're happy as long as we could get, because otherwise, as I mentioned, it would be like 5 hours of driving extra, so we really wanted to avoid that. Just a correction for the price, I said it was 10 reais per person, but now we checked and no, it's actually just 10 reais for like everybody, for all the passengers. So the total, we didn't pay 150, we paid 140 reais. So to give you an idea, we are in a body of water which is called Bay of São Marcos or Saint Mark Bay, and where we are going, actually there is this piece of land on this side, and then there is a little opening in between this piece of land and the other one. So there is our final destination. It is called Cujupi. So from the terminal that was in São Luís, we left and we are going to Cujupi so that we can continue towards Belém. This is the straight line that takes 1 hour by ferry. Water crossing almost done. We are almost getting to the other terminal on the other side of the water, but we are still stuck in our car and we are the last row to get out. But we came inside because up there were windows, but it's extremely humid and it was very hot and we were worried about our dog. So at least in the car we have put the AC and we can breathe. And as soon as we hit the road, I'm gonna show you how it looks like. Another stop on the side of the road. We've been driving for almost 2.5 hours after we left the terminal from the ferry boat. But just wanted to give you guys an update. Most of the road looked like
this, honestly, from the time that we left the boat terminal, the ferry terminal. I didn't mention also earlier, the ferry was supposed to take around an hour or an hour and 10 minutes, but for some reason for us today it took 2 hours. So it was a bit unexpected and tiring, to be honest. And it seems that this side of the state, we are really inside the city, in the rural areas, and like we saw a lot of farms, a lot of cows and buffaloes. You see on the road also on the side there is always like horses, roosters, a lot of animals and farms that we drove by. One thing that I really wanted to vent about and complain is, honestly, shame on the government of Maranhão. We are speechless. We have been driving a lot in Brazil, and it's only in this state that as soon as we left Piauí and we entered Maranhão, I thought maybe Barreirinhas was just like a little beach town that was underdeveloped, was not taken care of. But then we went to the capital, São Luís, and now on the road, it's insane the amount of potholes that you see, and like potholes that are almost the size of these. This is like a side road, but on the highway that you're going 80, 100 kilometers, you have potholes like this big and just completely abandoned. Nobody is taking care of them. Nobody is doing any maintenance. Worse than that is the speed bumps. You have speed bumps, but normally in any other state, any other country, you have a sign 200 meters before, 100 meters, and then there is a sign that, okay, there is a speed bump here. Here in Maranhão, and especially on this road, there is no such thing. You have to find out from the other signs that you see. If you see some vendors on the side of the road, you say, okay, 90% there is a speed bump, so people slow down, and the vendors, they're standing there. There were at some point, I think, painted yellow, but everything is faded, everything is old, everything is not maintained at all. And in some areas that there is a very little village, the locals have made a sign for the speed bump just to warn you, so you don't go over the speed bump for with 100 kilometers an hour and destroy your whole car. We were joking with Mariana, we said, like, if you really want to test the suspension and the shocks of your car, you really have to come to the state of Maranhão. So if everything is taken care of by the people, by the locals, like another example is garbage. We saw a lot of garbage on the side of the highway, and in some little villages the locals have made like a pile of garbage and they are burning it themselves. There is no service from the government. So why do you collect taxes? I don't understand. This is really not acceptable in my opinion, but anyway, it is what it is. We try to always focus on the positive, but we also want to share with you the good and the bad of the road trip. Now we're gonna continue. The scenery is absolutely beautiful. Everything is green and like lush green. Beautiful scenery. The road is a little bit challenging, but nothing we cannot handle. So let's continue. Okay, I really wanted to stop filming because I thought we had enough, but come on. You cannot call this a highway. And of course, it's not a federal highway, it's a state highway. So once again, state of Maranhão. My God. Alright, we made it to the city of Maracasume. I'm exhausted, as you can imagine. It is 5 p.m. Believe it or not, by the time we left the terminal for the ferry boat, it was around noon. And we drove 170 kilometers, I would say. But it took us 5 hours. Yes, we did stop. But the road condition, honestly, was horrible, horrible. I don't like to complain, but it was really bad. So that's why it took us 5 hours, almost, to get here. And then we went to our first hotel, even though Mariana had mentioned to them that we have a dog, and she even has messages from WhatsApp. They said that, oh no, we don't accept dogs. So now we are at the second hotel. Hopefully here we can check in and stay here. We don't still know how many days we're gonna stay here. Once we decide and we see the room and if it's okay and we decide to stay a few days, I'll let you guys know. It's the next day now and we left our hotel. We have been driving for like almost an hour. Last night, the second hotel that we went to was okay with the dog, but then it also had its own setbacks. First, the garage was in the basement and our room was on the second floor, so there was 3 floors to take the suitcases up and no elevator. So we said, you know what, we will just take the most of the important things, just clothes to take a shower and toothpaste, toothbrush and all of that. The rest we were gonna keep it in the car. Then we wanted to take a shower, and then I went to take a shower. There was no hot water, and Mariana went to the reception and they said, oh yeah, the owners decided to not provide any more hot water. So we took a cold shower and we decided to leave and go to Belém. So in Belém we're gonna stay 2 or 3 days in a hotel, and then we're gonna go to our Airbnb. That was the main reason why we originally stopped on the way, because we thought maybe before we get to Belém we take 2-3 days to rest and stay in a small city, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So we're gonna go to Belém, stay the first few days in a hotel, and after that to our Airbnb. Not everything is negative though. The road condition, even though here you might see potholes, but since we left, the road condition is amazing. It's not even comparable to yesterday, and it's basically all the time flat highway in very good condition, so you can go fast. And yesterday I don't even remember when I could go like 80 or 100 kilometers, but today it's much better. That being said, we just had the stop for our dog, stretch our legs a bit, and we're gonna hit the road again. I mentioned the road condition is better, but I forgot to mention it's because we are on a federal highway today, which is BR 316. So it's not like a highway that is under the control of the state, but it's under the control of the federal government, and that's why I think most of the federal roads are much better in terms of the conditions. Another good thing about the side road in Brazil, ooh, you get corn. I wanted just one, but then it was like 3 for 10. or something, and then he gave us even 4, and we paid him 12 reais. But this is amazing. Now I have food for the road. Welcome to Belém. First impressions, the city is more organized. It's very nice, lush, green, beautiful. Driving is a bit hard, but not as bad as São Luís. We checked into our hotel. We're just having some issues with the reception. Another surprise, because all of a sudden they are telling us that we should have provided our dog's vaccination. But when we booked, there was nothing, and there's even an extra charge, and we knew there would be a charge, but they didn't tell us how much. And now they didn't want to even let us come upstairs before we give them the vaccination. It's like, it's at the bottom of the suitcase. We have it. We're not going anywhere. Anyway, that was our road trip. I think before we explode, we're gonna end this video now, and after the next videos we're gonna go around Belém and show you the city. The city has a lot to offer. It's very beautiful. We are really looking forward to it. So we're not gonna let anything ruin the experience. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Bye, Mariana.